What happens when three lifelong friends decide to chase their dreams, but ultimately lose pieces of themselves along the way? You'll have to find out. Hey, I'm Gracie. Welcome to Backstage Features, my podcast where I talk about movies, TV shows, music, basically anything in entertainment that I want to talk about. Today, I want to start with a thank you to my friends at Star PR and also Sony Pictures Classics for giving me an advanced screener to the new film Merrily We Roll Along. This name might sound familiar, and that's because this movie is actually the filmed live version of the hit Broadway musical. For those of you who don't know what it's about, this musical spans across 2 decades and traces the complex and often heartbreaking relationships that can go on in a friendship when you're trying to chase your dreams. Now that you know a little bit about what it is, time to get into my review. I want to start off by saying this film was shot with a live audience when they performed the Hudson Theater in New York City. So all the reactions that you hear in the background are the real audience. And I think this is so helpful for the musical and the overall storyline. Because when you have these heartbreaking moments, or even the moments where you want to laugh out loud, it always solidifies the fact that you're not feeling alone when you hear other people have the same reaction. It's also kind of strange to have a stage musical when you don't hear any reactions, because the thing about live performing is having the live audience to feed off of. And in this film, they're so clearly able to do that. You can see that they're motivated and that they feel energized by this audience. Therefore, they give amazing performances. With a killer cast, including Jonathan Groff, Daniel Radcliffe, and Lindsay Menendez, these three have amazing chemistry. It honestly makes you feel like you are watching a friendship that has been built for so long. From the fights and arguments to even the heartfelt moments and the secret handshake that they have, you can tell that these three connected with their roles and wanted to make them feel like they were family. I mean, I love these actors. I think they're so talented. We have Daniel Radcliffe, who obviously is like the one and only Harry Potter. We have Jonathan Groff, who, don't even get me started on Glee. Don't get me started on Kristoff and Frozen. Lindsay Menendez for her roles in All Rise and Elsbeth. Killer cast. One thing I also loved about this was the way they told the story backwards. I think it's so unique to do this, and I love when people do it because it grabs you at what could be their best or worst moment in this case, and it shows you how they got there. Instantly you're intrigued, you want to know more, and it takes you back in time, which is always fun. For this being a live show, the set design was gorgeous. I love that it was so minimal, but somehow it still worked. They used the same setup, but just added different props inside, which makes it easy for them to do with fast changes, and B, just makes it easier for audiences to focus on the actors as opposed to looking around at all these new set pieces. Now, despite the fact that I did enjoy a lot of this film, I did feel like there were some downsides. For me, I love musical theater, I love musicals, but I felt like a lot of those songs were repetitive in this one. A lot of them use the same melody, which I'm not hating on, but after a while, it's hard to decipher which songs are which. The storyline was great. As I said, I love the way it goes backwards. I love the way it's honest about the way friendships can struggle, and you can either find your way back together or maybe not. But I did feel like this one was extremely repetitive since we were seeing different fights happen over a certain span of time. I would have loved to see a bit more of each person's personal life as opposed to when we just see them together. The runtime of this movie is a little bit long for my liking, but as a stage play, it does make sense, so I'm not going to hate on it. All in all, this film was extremely well done, and the fact that it was live makes it even more impressive. So if you're a musical theater fan, make sure to check it out. It hits US theaters on December 5th and in Canadian theaters December 4th.